Authorities in Mozambique believe that 70 children have gone missing as a result of recent terrorist attacks in the northern Cabo Delgado province. It is believed that they were separated from their families as many migrated to a neighboring region in recent weeks. There are also suspicions that some of them were kidnapped by Islamic State fighters. Violence in Mozambique has recently escalated, with Médecins Sans Frontières reporting that 80,000 people have been displaced since January. The children were among thousands who fled Cabo Delgado's Chiùre district to Nampula province in recent weeks. Now joining me on the news to discuss this is Project Manager, Institute for Multiparty Democracy, Glécio Massango. Hello, Mr. Massango. Thank you so much for joining me at this time.
Hi, thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. So can you provide us with an overview of the recent attacks by the Islamic State fighters in Cabo Delgado? What information do you have regarding the alleged missing children after these attacks?
Yes, thank you. Actually, what we have in terms of information is, as you've just said, that there is over 70 children who have gone missing in recent weeks because of these terrorist attacks. And there's also a number of close to 30 of them who had been missing, which were able to be found and they joined their families again. So the authorities and the families are still looking to find out where those children are, if they've joined terrorist attacks or they're trying to hide from any kind of attacks. It's not clear yet in terms of the destination, in terms of where they are, in which circumstances they've disappeared, in terms of details. But what we can say is that this conflict in Cabo Delgado is not only affecting these children, taking into account that there are thousands of them who are now restricted from having access to education, which is a human right. They are restricted from having access to health system, because the conflict has also affected health institutions, and also churches have been destroyed. There are thousands of children who now don't have access to their own homes. So this is to say that the conflict is not only affecting these children, but the problem is much broader than this
Mr. Massango, but do you have an idea if there are any specific patterns in the disappearances of these children?
Yes, actually, since we have attacks in Cabo Delgado in the areas where these children are missing, in terms of the patterns, it's the same as other people have been missing as well. According to official data, there's over 9,000 people who have fled their homes because of the conflict. And in this process of fleeing, in some situations, some children do disappear from the control of their families. It's not clear in terms of details if we have specific problems with children, or they are part of the terrorist conflict situations where elder people, women, men, they are also fleeing their homes, they're disappearing from the control of their families. It's not clear yet because of the age group. It could be sometimes difficult to contact them and have much details. Maybe even it could be difficult, probably according to the age group. We're not clear in terms of being close to 0 in terms of years, or close to 17. So it's unclear in terms of the specific ages, so that we can understand a little bit more in terms of difficult to have contact with those children. But what we can say is that
that's
general
actually
problem,
quite sad. Quite
Sorry?
sad indeed, Mr. Massango. Can you tell us how the local government is actually responding to the reports of these missing children?
Yes, actually, this report came up to public through local government, the provincial government in Cabo Delgado. which means they are aware of these numbers, and it's them who brought the numbers to public. And they are also working towards to help those children or the families to identify the children who have gone missing, and also in terms of providing assistance to those who have fled their homes to very identified places like the ones that have been set by the government to accommodate people who have fled their homes. In terms of providing assistance, and also in terms of finding solution to the conflict, because the bigger problem now is the conflict in Cabo Delgado. That's why we have people who are fleeing their homes and they're going missing, and some people are also being killed. We have military intervention in terms of trying to find solutions, but also in terms of humanitarian assistance. But we think for the long term of the conflict, we think more should be done in terms of involving also civil society organizations, not in terms of providing assistance only to the government, but also to civil society organizations and also private sector in terms of trying to build resilience in people living in Cabo Delgado. And because we know in the terrorist groups, we have people from who are local, who are recruited locally. We think interventions, including reinforcing local communities' resilience in terms of making them less vulnerable to terrorist recruitment, could also be some way of finding a solution. Not, however, to say that the military component is irrelevant. It is very relevant, and it helps to solve the immediate consequences of the conflict. But for the longer term, we think more should be done. And we, as civil society organizations, have been trying to find solutions where we can contribute using this kind of approach.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Massango, for taking time out of your busy schedule to speak to us on this.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome.